In the natural world, encounters between animal species sometimes happen very quickly, but carry significant risks. Each species possesses its own survival strategy, ranging from strength and speed to patience and coordination. When those advantages clash directly, even a few seconds can determine the outcome. These rare clips capture some of the most remarkable confrontations ever recorded in nature. On the African savanna, buffaloes are one of the most defensive herbivores. A mature individual can weigh nearly 1,500 pounds and usually move closely together in a herd to minimize risk. But when one temporarily separates from the group, the familiar balance immediately shifts. Several lions begin to approach silently, gradually closing the distance. The buffalo reacts quickly, turning repeatedly and using powerful kicks to maintain space. The lions are not in a hurry. They patiently pursue, applying steady pressure to gradually weaken their opponent. The noise causes the nearby buffalo herd to return. Some charge, forcing the lions to retreat temporarily to avoid a direct collision. But when the buffalo realize their comrade is no longer standing and gradually withdrawing, the lions return to the area they left empty. Wild buffalo are known for their strong herd-protecting instincts, with many individuals willing to return to support their fellow buffalo in danger. However, lions often succeed through perseverance and group coordination. On the vast savanna, outcomes are often determined by endurance and collective strategy. On the dry grasslands of Africa, spotted hyenas are renowned for their pack coordination and remarkable endurance. An adult typically weighs between 120 and 190 pounds and possesses jaws strong enough to handle tough bones. As multiple individuals gather around leftover food, the competitive atmosphere between predators becomes palpable. The leftover food from a previous hunt lies on the ground, and the hyena pack quickly approaches to take advantage of the opportunity. From the edge of the grassland, a male lion emerges and moves closer, immediately drawing the attention of the entire hyena pack. It approaches swiftly and holds off a hyena for the first few seconds, creating a sudden tension. Almost immediately, warning cries erupt. Many hyenas returned to the center of the area, approaching and putting pressure on their fellow to move out of the disadvantageous position. The two sides maintained a short distance for several tense minutes. Finally, thanks to the coordinated efforts of the entire pack, the endangered hyena was moved out of the area. Lions still have a clear advantage in direct confrontation. However, hyenas possess the advantage of numbers and pack cohesion. This is why they rarely abandon their pack when in danger. On the savanna, individual strength is important, but the coordination of the entire pack is sometimes the deciding factor. In many areas of the African savanna, wild dogs often dig burrows in open fields to raise their very young cubs. An adult pack may constantly move around the area to observe and protect. But when most of the attention is focused on the cubs at the mouth of the burrow, a greater danger begins to approach from afar. A male lion suddenly emerges from the edge of the grassland and quickly accelerates toward the burrow. It dashes across the open space in seconds and reaches a cub before the wild dogs can fully react. Warning cries immediately erupt, and the adults begin running around to create distance. The situation becomes more tense when several other lions also approach the area. The wild dogs are forced to gradually retreat from their original position to avoid greater risk. In such moments, young individuals are always the most vulnerable. Encounters between predators are often more than just about food. Often, it's a competition for territory and control of living space. On the vast savanna, a single moment of carelessness can change the entire course of events. In many open woodlands and grasslands of Africa, leopards typically live and hunt alone. An adult male leopard weighs around 110 to 200 pounds and relies on its quietness and tree-climbing ability to avoid major conflict. But when an individual inadvertently moves into an area controlled by lions, the familiar tranquility quickly disappears. From the front, a lion detects the leopard's presence and immediately approaches. The distance closes rapidly, forcing the leopard to react at a disadvantage. The encounter is brief, and the leopard cannot maintain a safe distance from its larger opponent. After only a short time, the leopard is severely injured and forced to retreat from the area. Without its pack to assist, it must find its own way away from the lion's territory. In this confrontation, the lion clearly has the advantage, being a predator with superior size and strength. For solitary predators, serious injury is often a significant risk. Without a pack to support them, their ability to hunt and survive can be drastically reduced. On the savanna, sometimes even a small territorial mistake can completely alter the chances of survival. On the African savannas, impalas typically move in herds to remain alert to surrounding dangers. An adult weighs approximately 90 to 160 pounds and relies on quick reflexes to maintain a safe distance. But as the herd becomes distracted while grazing, a low, close to the ground movement begins to silently approach. Hidden in a low furrow, a leopard lies still, observing. It patiently waits and only moves when the distance becomes favorable. When an impala gets closer than it's safe, the leopard leaves its hiding place and accelerates in a brief approach. The distance quickly narrows in just seconds. The impala tries to change direction to create space, but the approach is too close. The chase ends quickly, and the leopard gains control. Leopards don't rely solely on speed. Their greatest advantage lies in their ability to observe for extended periods and choose the right moment to act. On the savannah, patience and precise planning often prove more effective than a prolonged chase. Along the jungle coasts of the Americas, jaguars are the top predators in the region. An adult can weigh from 150 to over 250 pounds and usually lives entirely alone. Each controls its own territory, so when two adults accidentally meet, tension quickly builds. On a sandy beach, two male jaguars approach and begin observing each other. Both maintain a short distance, move slowly, and demonstrate their strength with cautious strides. Neither wants to yield territory immediately, and within moments, the confrontation becomes tense. After a short while, one begins to retreat a few steps and lower its stance. This is a clear signal that it chooses to avoid direct conflict. The remaining animal held its position on the sand, and the confrontation ended when its opponent gradually left the area. In the world of solitary predators, avoiding injury is often just as important as winning. A serious wound can impair hunting ability for weeks. Therefore, in many cases, retreating at the right time is the key to long-term survival. In the arid lands of Africa and South Asia, the cobra is one of the reptiles that many other animals fear. Its potent venom and rapid attack reflexes give it a formidable position in the ecosystem. However, there is a smaller species that frequently dares to confront it, and this encounter begins when a mongoose approaches. The mongoose constantly moves around the snake, maintaining a very short distance, but always ready to dodge. Each time the snake extends its head, the mongoose instantly retreats and returns to another position. After several probing attempts, it suddenly lunges forward, seeking an opportunity to approach from behind its opponent's head. In the decisive moment, the snake quickly slips out of the encirclement and withdraws from the area. The confrontation ends when both separate, with neither completely in control of the situation. Alertness and quick reflexes help the snake avoid great danger. Encounters between mongooses and snakes often depend on speed and timing. Mongooses are known for their very quick reflexes and often have the upper hand in many similar situations. But in nature, just a moment's delay can completely change the outcome. In nature, every confrontation reflects different survival strategies between species. Some rely on strength, some on speed, and some survive through the coordinated efforts of the entire group. The strongest doesn't always completely control the situation, because even a moment of delay can change the outcome. Such encounters demonstrate the delicate yet dramatic balance of the wild world.
On the savannah, not every bold move leads to victory. Hyenas often advance with confidence built up from previous successes. But when circumstances change, familiar advantages can quickly become risks. The following confrontations show that, in nature, misunderstanding an opponent sometimes costs survival. Hyenas are known for their unmistakable confidence in every movement. An adult can weigh up to 140 pounds, with jaws strong enough to handle tough food sources. Their familiar experiences on the savannah have reinforced their habit of moving forward instead of waiting. But nature rarely maintains a steady rhythm. When circumstances change, that sense of certainty begins to fade. Space becomes more cramped, the silence lengthens. An individual approaches too closely, not out of urgent need, but because they haven't yet recognized the change. The opponent remains calm. The steadiness, coupled with its superior size of over 1,500 pounds, gradually creates an invisible pressure. At this point, the hyena clearly senses the pace is no longer under its control. It quietly moves away. The confrontation ends silently. The hyena keeps its distance, adjusting to a safer position. That's not a sign of weakness, but a necessary decision. In nature, long-term survival belongs to those who recognize when to stop. Honey badgers are small but renowned for their tenacity and strong self-defense capabilities. Their low, sturdy bodies and thick skin allow them to withstand pressure much better than many other species. On the savannah, honey badgers often rely not on speed or numbers, but on ferocity. When surrounded by a pack of hyenas, the honey badger doesn't try to run away. It constantly shifts, maintaining a central position and reacting immediately to any individual that gets too close. These decisive actions force the hyenas to keep their distance. A prolonged confrontation doesn't give the hyenas an advantage. The risk increases with each approach. Eventually, the hyena pack gives up and retreats. The encounter ends with the hyenas at a disadvantage. The honey badger stays, not because it has absolute dominance, but because it's not an easy target. On the savannah, the honey badger is a high-risk opponent, not worth the risk. African warthogs don't possess overwhelming size, but they are rarely easy opponents to subdue. A mature individual typically weighs between 220 and 330 pounds, is low-slung, sturdy, and maintains a stable center of gravity. On the savannah, their survival depends on quick reflexes and close-range self-defense. A pack of hyenas approached a slow-moving warthog. quickly splitting their formation to apply pressure. They harassed from multiple directions, patiently wearing down their opponent over time. But each time the distance narrowed, the warthog's aggressive reaction and the cramped terrain forced the hyenas to retreat. The approach gradually lost momentum. The warthog maintained a steady pace and retreated in an orderly fashion. The hyenas moved further back, maintaining a safe distance. In nature, not every effort yields results. Sometimes, knowing when to stop is the best way to avoid unnecessary losses. Lions have long held a central position of power on the savannah. A mature individual can weigh over 400 pounds, with a body built for stability, endurance, and positional awareness. Even standing still, its presence is enough to slow the pace of movement around it. A hyena advances, accustomed to challenging familiar opponents. It moves around the perimeter, constantly changing direction, seeking a subtle reaction. Its rapid pace and agility have given it an advantage in many situations before. In a brief moment, the hyena suddenly lunges forward. It's not a decisive move, but merely a test of reflexes intended to force the lion to react. But this time, every movement creates no opening. The lion remains in its position, center of gravity low, gaze fixed. There is no hasty reaction, nor any sign of wavering. The prolonged calm caused the hyena to gradually slow down. The test ended in silence. The hyena retreated, maintaining a safe distance. The lion neither pursued nor changed its position. On the savannah, survival belongs to those who understand their limits and know when to stop. African elephants are the largest living creatures on the savannah. An adult can weigh thousands of pounds, their size and strength creating an overwhelming presence. But what truly keeps elephants safe isn't just their massive size, but their close-knit herd structure. A pack of hyenas doesn't target adult elephants. They target the calf at the edge of the formation with clearly defined roles: chase, block, and disrupt. Their rapid movements are aimed at putting pressure on the herd and forcing it to separate. The elephant's reaction is immediate. The adults quickly form a defensive barrier, surrounding the calf. When the mother elephant turns around, her roar is powerful enough to change the course of events. The approach ends in moments. The hyenas disperse and retreat. The outcome is undeniable. On the savannah, the cohesion of the elephant herd is the ultimate survival barrier. African wild dogs are a species that relies on discipline and close coordination for survival. Each individual weighs only about 40 to 70 pounds. but they always move as part of a unified group. On the savanna, their effectiveness comes from speed, numbers, and the ability to act simultaneously. In a seemingly stable moment, a group of hyenas remains around the remaining food. They maintain a slow, unhurried pace until the silhouette of a pack of wild dogs appears at the edge of the area. From there, the calm quickly gives way to tension as the wild dog formation begins to expand and close in. When a hyena breaks away from its original position, the pack of wild dogs immediately acts. They use speed and pack tactics to continuously apply pressure from multiple directions. The relentless close-range attacks force the hyena to retreat from its advantageous position. The initiative quickly shifts to the wild dog. The confrontation ended with the hyenas at a disadvantage. The pack of wild dogs controlled the area briefly before moving on. This outcome wasn't solely due to collective strength. On the savanna, timing is sometimes just as important as brute force.
Approaching. Coming in.
Crocodiles are the silent rulers of the savanna rivers. Their low, sturdy bodies are almost immobile when lying close to the water's edge. In their environment, crocodiles don't need to move much to gain an advantage. Initially, the riverbank scene remains familiarly tranquil. A hyena approaches the water's edge, drawn to the scent of food and the seemingly safe surface. Just below the murky water, a crocodile is waiting, and a moment of carelessness instantly shifts the balance.
Coming in.
In the aquatic environment, the balance changes immediately. The crocodile completely controls the space, while the hyena loses its ability to react. There is no escape to regain the initiative. The confrontation ends quickly. The hyena cannot overcome its opponent's environmental advantage. The outcome is clear. Among predators, habitat is often the deciding factor in who wins and who loses. Cheetahs are notable for their speed and precise control of movement. Their slender, lightweight bodies allow them to complete a hunting process quickly, minimizing the risk of prolonged confrontations. On the savanna, cheetahs typically avoid lengthy confrontations, prioritizing energy conservation and safety. After successfully approaching an antelope, the cheetah pauses to regulate its breathing. The lingering scent in the air quickly attracts the attention of an approaching hyena. The initial stillness turns into alertness. The distance between the two species gradually narrows. The hyena begins to apply pressure, circling around to find an opportunity to approach. The cheetah maintains its position, reacting quickly to maintain a safe distance. Its decisive movements force the hyena to slow down and consider its next move. However, the cheetah does not try to hold on to its food source. Ultimately, it proactively left the area in a safer direction. The hyena did not gain a clear advantage. The outcome was not determined by direct strength. On the savannah, the cheetah prioritizes survival over any short-term gain. Through each encounter, the savannah shows that there is no absolute superpower. Confidence can open up opportunities, but it can also lead to mistakes when circumstances change. Size, speed, or numbers only matter in the right environment. In nature, the one who survives the longest is the one who understands its limits and chooses the right moment.